Hello, ladies. It is Tiffany of Clarity, Confidence, Courage, Women's Empowerment. And today I want to talk about this concept of how to take the path of least resistance and why it's so important. Now, I know you may not know about what I'm talking about. Like, Tiffany, what the heck is the path of least resistance? Trust me, I'm going to talk about what the path of least resistance is, how it can get you to your dream life a whole lot quicker and easier, and the reason why you need it. Ladies, stick around. Make sure you share, like, and subscribe so that other women just like you can really learn to live a life of their dreams on their terms. All right? Let's talk about it. Now, when I talk about the path of least resistance, what I mean is the path that lets you get to your dreams, your goals, but especially your happiness a whole lot easier. So many times, ladies, and I've been guilty of it myself, is that we want things in life. You know, we have these goals, we have these ambitions, we have these dreams, but we kind of do things that make it really, really hard to get there. It's like in our minds, we think in order to have what we desire, in order to have what we truly want, we have to work extremely hard, jump through a lot of hoops, and pretty much, go through a warrior challenge just to get it. And in a way, it kind of makes sense because in life, that's what we're taught. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you shouldn't put yourself in situations that take you out of your comfort zone. That's a totally different thing. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is that when you're trying to accomplish something, sometimes you will take the path that has the most resistance. Instead of thinking to yourself, how can I get that thing that I want, or how can I get to that place that I want a whole lot easier? Think about it like this. If someone told you, okay, you have to go from Delaware all the way to California, okay? But you have two roads to get there. You can take this really rocky, rough road that, is really hard. The terrain is a mess. There's tornadoes. You're probably going to run into a hurricane. Or you can take a different path and it's still going to get you there, but you're going to enjoy it a whole lot more. That path is going to be a whole lot easier. It may take you slightly bit longer than you did when you were going the other path, but you know what? It's going to be so worth it because you are going to enjoy the ride. Which route would you take? Now, I know so many women who would say, well, Tiffany, I'm going to choose the harder route because there is no way in the world that you can get on to California from Delaware using the easy route. I'm going to take the harder route because you know what? That's going to teach me perseverance and strength and how to be hard, how to blah, blah, blah. And ladies, let me tell you, trust me, as a former addict of that thinking, it is so not worth it. It's not sacrificing your joy and your peace and your happiness to get to your goals quicker or harder or make the path or the journey so miserable when there's another way. The easier way is the path of least resistance. It's the path that's going to help you get really, really crystal clear on what it is you really desire. It's the path that's going to help you plan and take action. And it's the path that's going to make it so enjoyable as you're on the route towards where you want to be. So how do we take the path of least resistance and allow ourselves to really fully embrace the joyful, happy, peaceful, content, amazing life that we all deserve? First, you have to get crystal clear on how you want to feel. Yes, ladies, not what you want or not what you think you want, how you want to feel. I meet so many women who say, Tiffany, I want this new car, or I want to have this house in this specific area, or I have to have this particular type of guy that I have to date. And it's like, why? I always ask them the question, well, why does it have to be so like that? What is this area going to do for you? And we kind of backstep our way into the feeling. And so a lot of times I'll bring them back to the feeling place and I'll get them to really talk about the feelings and the emotions they have about it. So interesting that a lot of times we sometimes want things, or we think we want things, because deep down there is a void within us. It's not so much the thing that we want, it's the feeling that we want. So for example, if you say, Tiffany, I don't feel good about my body. I really, I want to just feel sexier. And right now I just don't feel that way. So what is it about your body that is hindering you from feeling that way? What is the feeling that you want to feel within your body? And so we talk about the feeling emotion. That's just an example. So you might say around that, well, I just feel like if I was lighter, I could, run faster if she likes running, or I feel like if I was lighter, or if I, could walk up the steps without having to catch my breath, I would feel healthier. And if I felt healthier, I would feel a little happier. I would be a little bit more upbeat. Okay, so if you know you want to feel healthier and more upbeat, and you feel like that's connected to your body, what can you do? What is one thing that you can do to start changing how your body feels so that you feel physically better? And so when you look at it from that perspective, it's not saying you need to get on this diet, you need to go to this workout class, you need to take this boot camp. No, it's saying that you've acknowledged that you want your body to feel more vibrant, more vivid, more alive. And how do you get there? So that's what I mean when it's about really thinking about how you want to feel. Get into the feeling state first and allow the feeling state to then guide you towards your goals. Number 2, after you've gotten into the feeling state of how you want to feel in various aspects of your life, start asking yourself, now how can I create a tangible plan to get there? What are the specific things and action steps that I can do to get me closer to that feeling state? So let's go back to that first example where a person might say, well, I want to feel better in my body. I want to feel more vibrant. I want to feel more healthy. Instead of jumping to some diet plan or strict boot camp, what is one thing that you can do tangibly, an action step you can take that is the path of least resistance, meaning you can consistently do this thing and you can stick with it without falling off the bandwagon, and it's going to get you closer to your goal of feeling vibrant? Maybe that means you need to drink more water. Maybe you need to hydrate more. Part of the feeling of energy is, of course, hydrating your cells. What if you just started there? What if you literally just committed to every single day drinking maybe half a gallon of water or 4 cups of water, especially if you're somebody who rarely drinks water? I mean, that's a big step, right? Start there. Start with the little wins. And then once you get that consistency going and it becomes a habit, and every single day you're drinking like half a gallon of water, half your body weight or whatever, then you might say, I think I'm going to cut back on, the amount of sugar I take in. Maybe I'm not going to eat that dessert every single day after dinner. Maybe that's what I'm going to do this week. I'm going to see if I can cut back on my sugar intake. And now you add that. And again, it's an easy win. It's not like you have to jump into this whole new program. You're just slowly getting closer to how you want to feel. And you might notice that drinking more water and decreasing the amount of sugar you take in actually makes you feel energetic, and it makes you want to do a little bit more. So that right there, number 2, creating tangible, simple steps toward the feeling state of what it is you desire. Next, check in with your emotions from time to time. Once you've got clarity on how you want to feel and you've created some small, simple action steps to get there, again, the path of least resistance, simple, easy. Now you want to know how it's going. You want to check in with yourself every so often to make sure that you're actually still following that path. Because what will happen, ladies, you'll start doing number 1 and number 2, and then you'll kind of get caught up in the momentum, and you're like, oh, maybe I can hurry up and do this. Maybe I can make it faster if I do this and I add this, and you'll screw yourself over and you'll self-sabotage and you'll throw yourself totally off. So the next step is really check in with your emotions. If you start to do those things and add more steps or add more goals or change direction, ask yourself, does this feel good? Is what I'm doing right now still feeling peaceful? Does it still feel joyful? Do I still feel safe? Do I still feel confident? Am I still on the path? That's how you can check in with your emotions and check in with yourself to figure out if you're still on the path of least resistance or if you're making it harder for yourself. Because if you started your flow and then all of a sudden you do all these other extra things and it starts to feel like a burden, you start to have higher anxiety, it starts to make you feel depressed, it starts to make you sad, guess what? you're no longer on the path of least resistance. You've actually just added resistance to your life. You've actually just added something that made it harder to keep going. Stop. Check in with yourself every so often and ask yourself, am I still on the path of least resistance? Am I still on the path of my most allowing? Am I still following the place and the path of peace and joy? Does this thing that I'm experiencing right now, does it feel like joy? Does it feel like peace? And if the answer is no, then you may need to step back for a second and really reflect on your goals, on your plan of action towards where you're going. Next, be willing to clean the clutter out. What do I mean by that? So many times when we're on the path of least resistance to our ultimate joy and peace and happiness, we will still sometimes self-sabotage because we refuse to clean out the clutter. Clutter can be actual clutter in our house, things that we should be getting rid of, old clothes we can't fit anymore, things that just should not be in our house. We don't even clean up or organize our space to make us feel more comfortable, right? But sometimes clutter can be in the form of humans, of people, toxic friends, toxic family members, allowing them to talk and clutter your mind with all the negativity. You can't do that. Why are you trying to achieve that? Why are you trying to step out of the norm? Well, you can't, that's not possible. You hear these people that are so negative. And sometimes they'll say, well, I just want you to be careful, or I don't want you to get hurt, or, they'll wrap it up in a nice little bow about how concerned they are about you. But the truth is, they're the clutter that is draining your energy and draining your brain and holding you back. So sometimes you have to get rid of those people, or at least distance yourself from them, because if not, their voice will come into your head so loud, and it'll be during the time we are actually getting close to what it is you desire. So when I say get rid of the clutter, yes, I mean physical clutter in your home or your living space, but also toxic people, toxic family members, toxic friends, toxic work environments, and maybe the clutter of your own negativity and your own limiting beliefs. Ladies, you have got to clean up your mind. You have got to get these negative entities, these energies out of your life. That is what I mean when I say clean up the clutter. And lastly, ladies, to really help you on the path of least resistance, sometimes you need to be willing to allow people in that you wouldn't normally allow into your life. People that are supportive on the journey. People that actually match up with your energy, meaning they want the same things that you want. People that encourage you and really want to see you win. People that give you things that may not feel normal to you because it's not how you were raised or not how you grew up, but it's actually making you feel good. So what do I mean by that? For example, some women come to me, clearly I'm a life coach, so they come to me because there's no one in their circle, there's no one in their area that can understand what they're going through. Maybe they've gone through a divorce. Maybe they've gone through a really hard breakup. Maybe they're trying to get very clear on their goals. They want this big thing, but they don't believe they can do it because their confidence has been so crushed. So they need a coach to support them. But ladies, sometimes the support that we need can come in the form of other things. Sometimes it can come in the form of relationships, people that we wouldn't normally date, but they might be the exact thing that we need because of how they make us feel. They connect us to our peace. They help us connect to our joy. When we're with them, we feel peaceful. When we're with them, we feel joyful. So sometimes you have to step outside of your normal kind of group or social circle and be willing to open yourself up to the people who are on the path of least resistance towards what it is you desire as well. And you'll know because when you're with them, you feel the feelings of what you want to feel as you're headed towards that goal. So ladies, again, the path of least resistance is all about the path of your greatest knowing, getting closer to your higher self, the self that is peace, that is joy, that is happiness, that is contentment, and that really makes you feel proud of you. that truly is the path to all the things that you really deeply desire in life. And if you're living a life that doesn't bring you peace, it doesn't bring you joy, it doesn't get you closer to what you deeply desire, then it may be time to make some changes. It may be time for you to reflect on what it is that you deeply, deeply want and how to get there. And what is it going to take to pull you out of the resistance, out of the hardness of life, and into the more soft, beautiful, joyful, somewhat simpler path towards your greatest reward and your greatest success. If you're in a place, of course, where you're needing some help and some guidance, definitely click the link in my description to jump on my calendar for a free discovery call to talk about your challenges, where you are, and possibly how we can work together to get there. Ladies, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what you thought, and I hope you have, as usual, an amazing, stress-free, least resistance path possible day. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.